welcome to Module 2. My name is Josh and I'm your push coach. And now it's time, before we jump into all of the activities, before we jump into teaching you how to post, how to have conversations, how to expand your network, before we dive into all of those things, the number one thing I gotta do is give you a mindset makeover. Because if we don't have the right mindset, we will fail at everything we do. So the first thing that I want to address is why recruiting? Why do I need to recruit so much? Can't I just get like 3 or 4 people on my team and then just like teach those people how to succeed? And in a perfect world, that makes so much sense. And a lot of the old school network marketing companies kind of teach this is if you just get 3 or 4 people and then you train them and teach them how to work hard, here's the problem with that, is that I have seen person after person after person fail miserably. Because they get to kind of a comfortable rank in their company, it's usually a rank that's very highly recognized, but doesn't get paid very well. And they get to this rank and they think at this rank, now it's time to become a leader. Sometimes I really hate the word leader because it is used so much out of context. Yes, I'm trained and mentored by John Maxwell, leadership guru, but I swear when other people use the word leadership, they always throw something on it that isn't even a thing. And they think, okay, I've got like 8 to 10 people on my team. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop recruiting, I'm gonna stop working so hard on myself, and I'm gonna help my team. And I'm gonna empower my team, and I'm gonna train my team, and I'm gonna create 8 hours worth of training modules for them to make sure they get started right, to make sure they know how to do everything. And I'm gonna revamp my entire system and onboarding system. And what happens is you stop producing any of your own results to become a leader, which if you just listen to that out loud, it sounds so ridiculous. You stop producing your own results to become a leader. That doesn't sound like a very good leader to me. But you start focusing so much on your team and trying to help them that before you know it, because you haven't produced any of your own results, because you haven't recruited anybody new to the team, all of a sudden you wake up one day and you don't even have a team. And let me explain to you why that happens. There is something called the 80-20 principle. The 80-20 principle says that 80% of our results come from 20% of our people. Now, this is a global statistic. 20% of people consume 80% of the alcohol in the world. 20% of people consume 80% of the tobacco in the world. 20% of people watch 80% of the TV shows. There's some people that literally just Netflix all day and night. If you're in this training group, you ain't gonna have much time for Netflix. I'm sorry. 20% of people give you 80% of your results. Now, these numbers can get skewed just a little bit. And what I teach is that in network marketing, it is actually more of a 90-10 rule. And here's why. What I found with sales, and I've had this confirmed from many people, is that with sales, about 10% of people convert. Now, here's the thing. When you recruit someone to your team, you would hope and you would think that you would have the 80-20 rule at best, which most of you didn't even realize that. But the truth is you have really more of a 90-10 rule. And here's why. Because network marketing, number one, costs very little money to get into. There is very little skin in the game. And number two, you don't have a boss. Which means no one can make you show up today, which means that of the people that would at least show up for a boss, not even those people are showing up unless you are incredibly self-motivated. So what really happens is we have a 90-10 rule, meaning 10% of the people we recruit will actually show up, work the business, pay for trainings like this to get properly trained, and actually give you results. 90% of the people you recruit to your team are gonna kind of hang out, say they really want to do something, and then make 100,000 excuses for why they can't. Has anybody ever noticed that? You ever notice that with people you recruit? You're going, now they say they're working, and I even see them posting on social media sometimes, but every time we get on a call, they have all of these excuses for why they can't do something. That is the 90-10 rule. Now, here's the thing. I want you to think about this for a second. to help you get over this thought of, oh, I need to become a leader because now I've got 10 people. I want you to imagine right now all of the people that you have recruited. I want you to think of your just your direct sponsors. I'm not even talking about down throughout the downline. I just mean the people that you have personally sponsored. I want you to think about it, okay? How many people there are right now that are just active. Now, if 90% of those people were to go sit on the bench and only 10% of them were left on the field, what kind of a team do you have? What kind of a team you got? Most of you ain't got nothing. Most of you have a team of 1 or 2 people. Now, if you only have 1 or 2 people on the field, how confident do you now feel about going into management mode and just helping those 1 or 2 people succeed and trusting that your entire business will take off? You see, here's the problem. You didn't even realize you don't have a team. You thought, well, I worked really hard to get these 8 to 10 people. I got a team. No, you don't. You do not have a team. You have 1 or 2 people on the field, and 1 or 2 people on the field are about to lose that football game. Because 1 or 2 people do not make up a team. So I need you to understand that, first of all, a leader never stops producing. Please write that down right now. In fact, I always say a leader's greatest responsibility is production. If you don't produce results, how in the world do you think your team is going to produce results? John Maxwell teaches something very, very, very important that I think applies directly to network marketing. I'll never forget reading the book, Becoming a Person of Influence, and feeling like this book was literally wrote for network marketers. He doesn't say that, but I feel like it was. And he gives us these 4 words. I want you to write these down. Model, motivate, mentor, multiply. I'm going to say it again. Model, motivate, mentor, and multiply. Now here's the thing. Modeling is where leadership starts. In other words, by doing the things you are asking other people to do. If you're not doing the things you're asking other people to do, how well do you think they're going to listen to you? In fact, a lot of times we call that the corner office manager. He likes to hang out in the corner office and tell everybody what to do, but he ain't done nothing in like 10 years, and no one wants to listen to that guy. Am I right? If you are the person that's saying, well, I've got my team here, now it's time to lead, now it's time to teach everyone else to stop producing my own results, you just became the corner office manager. Don't nobody want to listen to you because you ain't doing nothing. When you model, you are setting yourself up to lead by example, which means people want to be motivated and mentored by you. So when we model, then we get permission to motivate. And if we motivate properly, okay, and this comes back to the Zig Ziglar quote, you can have anything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want. When we motivate properly, meaning we help people to get what they want. We don't force our goals on them. We don't push our goals on them. We ask them what their goals are. We help them to reach their goals. Then people actually desire to be mentored by us. They want to spend time with us. They want to get on the phone with us. They want to go to conferences and events with us. And that's when we begin to multiply. If you want to be the greatest leader in the world, I promise you, the art of recruiting is the best place to start. I have seen people go through the art of recruiting, and by the end of the month, they're saying, Josh, first of all, my numbers are absolutely killing it. But second of all, I have seen it actually spread throughout my downline. As I've been showing up at a higher level with more energy and putting up bigger numbers, my team is following suit. The worst thing you can ever do is lower your numbers to become more relatable. I hear people say it all the time. I don't want to hit too big of numbers because I won't be relatable. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you inspired somebody sitting on your butt? When was the last time you doing nothing inspired someone else to go, you know what, I bet I could do something because you're doing nothing. It is our job as leaders to constantly raise the bar and bring them with us. And not everybody's going to come. And that's where the 90-10 rule comes from. Only about 10% of people are going to come along with us. And that's why we have to keep recruiting over and over and over. We never, ever, ever stop recruiting. You say, Josh, that sounds exhausting. Well, that's why it's called work. That's why it's called having a business. Don't you think that Target tries to get new customers every single month? Don't you think that aren't you trying to get new customers every month? Why is it that we understand we need new customers every month, but we can't get it into our head that we need new recruits every month? The number one reason you are not rank advancing is not because the people on your team aren't doing anything. The number one reason you are not rank advancing is because you are not bringing enough people on board. Because the same way customers drop off is the same way recruits drop off. And if you are not adding new people to your team is slowly fading into nothing. This is just a little extra bonus, not even in my notes, but the average lifespan of a recruit to any company is 3 to 6 months. If you're only recruiting, and this is why I gave you guys access to the Push Life modules where I teach you how to set puke goals. Right here, baby. Let's puke together. If you are only recruiting 1 or 2 people a month, about every 6 months, you are cycling through an entire new team. And then you are blaming it on your onboarding system. Bullshit. It is not your onboarding system. You just aren't bringing enough people on. When you bring on enough people, guess what? 10% of them stick around. You bring on 10 people a month. A year from now, that's 120 people. Guess what? You will have 12 rock stars. I'm not talking about just 12 people that are just hanging around saying their work. I'm talking you recruit 120 people, you will have 12 rock stars. Not to mention your volume will be off the charts and your income will be so huge. You say, Josh, I don't know if I can recruit 10 coaches. You can. You can. I don't know if I can recruit 10 people. You can do it. And I'm about to teach you how. Now, it might not happen overnight. It might not happen your first month, but I want you to push yourself month after month after month to keep bringing on more people. And I promise you, if you live by my system, you won't have to work all day and night doing it. Because I'm going to teach you, as you learn in the Push Life apps, to be focused on the right things. And when you focus on the right things, you can do incredible things without having to work more time. I don't want any of you to work more time. I just want you to put your energy in the right place. And that's why I want to cover urgency one more time. Because some of you may have skipped out on those Push Life modules. I need you to know this. The only way to succeed is to create a sense of urgency. I want you to pretend for a second that your kids or your loved ones are at home and you're on your way home. Maybe you had a babysitter. Maybe your kids are old enough that they're there by themselves, whatever that is. You're on your way home and you see smoke coming up out of your neighborhood. And when you get to your neighborhood, you realize it's coming from your street. And when you get to your street, you realize it is your house that is on fire. So you drive as fast as you can to your house. You do it straight up Oklahoma style. You pull straight up onto the grass. You jump out of your car and you run for that front door. And somewhere between the car and the door, you lost your keys. You're just so out of your mind, just out of wits, whatever. The keys got lost somewhere. How many of you figure out a way to get into that house? You kick down the door, you punch through a window, you figure out a way to make it happen. Am I right? When we create a sense of urgency in our business, when we set goals that are bigger than what we know how to do, it creates this thing in us that fuels us. It's called adrenaline, and it forces us into a higher level of action. It forces us into a higher level of focus. It forces us into a higher level of energy, and we are able to accomplish things we never thought we could do before. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't know if I can kick down a door. A locked door, locked with I don't know if I could kick down a door, but if my kids are on the inside of a house, I guarantee you I can kick down a door. It will happen. Some of you watching this, you say, I don't know. And I'm not telling everyone to set a goal of 10 recruits. That's just a number that I was using, okay? You may say, Josh, I want to go for 5. Okay? I want to go for 6. But I want you to set your goal somewhere above and beyond anything you've ever done before. Because what you're going to find is that there are some doors you can kick down that you never thought you could. Last thing that I want to hit up in this mindset makeover that I really, really want you to catch, because this is going to kind of be a little bit of the theme of the art of recruiting. This is something that I've kind of branded in the art of recruiting for the last, for the last year and a half when I relaunched it originally in 2017. And that is, I want you to write this down, because this is the biggest mind shift you are about to make as far as recruiting goes. Okay? Now, I'm giving you an entire business makeover that isn't just about recruiting. It is about doing your entire business. But as far as the recruiting aspect of it goes, the number one thing I want you to get over the next 4 weeks is I want you to be arrogant as a rock star. Write that down. Arrogant as a rock star. Now, at first, some of you are a little thrown back by this. You're like, what? Arrogant? That's like a bad thing, especially if you're like me and grew up in a religious world where arrogant, that's a very, very, very bad thing. I want you to understand something. What I've noticed is that most people that are drawn toward network marketing are very purpose-driven people, which is awesome. I'm purpose-driven myself. I grew up in a very religious home where I was told over and over and over, Josh, there's a plan for your life. Josh, you need to do something to make the world a better place. Josh, you have a purpose. You have a calling. And I thank God that I was taught that my entire life. But here's one of the things that I found about purpose-driven people. For some reason, and I don't even know that anyone has ever said it out loud, I don't know that anyone has ever taught us this, but somewhere along the lines, we kind of took it upon ourselves to think that being purpose-driven means you don't draw too much attention to yourself, because you might take attention away from your creator. And any attention you take for yourself or draw to yourself is somehow some type of unholy thing. Here's what's funny about that. Regardless of what religion you belong to, the person who started that movement or started that religion was someone who had thousands, if not millions of people following them around. Which tells me that when you truly live out your purpose, when you do the thing you are actually called to do, it should accumulate crowds of people to follow you. The thing is, it's not about you, it's about the message you're trying to get to them. But I have found that people are so afraid of attention. They have overused this word humility that I call false humility. And false humility is when you think you need to somehow degrade yourself. And any attention that you get is somehow bad or unholy or wrong, that you're not worthy. So then we start telling ourselves that we're not worthy of those things. We start telling ourselves that attention is bad. So what happens when you show up on social media trying to build a business and you're afraid of attention? That's not a very good way to build a business. Can you imagine if Target covered up their signs? They didn't want they didn't want to draw too much attention to themselves. Guys, the only way you build a business is by drawing attention to yourself. So I have kind of branded this thing to be as arrogant as a rock star. Not that I actually want you to be arrogant. It's more about confidence. Because when you go to a concert, you see people get up on stage and they're no better than me or you. They're not any better. But they are willing to get on that stage and do the thing they are there to do and just freaking rock it. Do you think for a second that rock stars feel stupid about taking pictures of themselves and posting them online? I hear people all the time, well, my life isn't very interesting. I just sit at home and I just have my kids and I just do this. Who cares? Do you think that a rock star's life is any more interesting than yours? Yes, they walk down a red carpet once every 6 months. Other than that, what do you think their day-to-day life looks like? If you look at the magazines, look at the tabloids, or if on Snapchat, if you scroll over to the right to look at the news, they're not doing anything any more interesting than you are. The difference is they are embracing it. See, I don't need you to have some fancy, glamorous life. I don't need you to make a lot of money. What I need you to do is embrace who you are. And I need you to understand that you have value to give this world. And I need you to understand that when you wake up every single day, the world is waiting to hear your voice. They are waiting to see your face. Think of your absolute favorite celebrity for a second. And I bet you anything, you check into their page every single day. When they pop up in your newsfeed, you want to see what they have to say. I need you for the next 4 weeks and beyond to imagine that you are that rock star. That you are the person people wake up in the morning ready to hear, ready to see. Because you, whether you realize it or not, you have a message that can change their life. The same way your business has changed your life. For a lot of you, you had lost your purpose. You had lost your meaning. A lot of us got so caught up in adulting and paying bills that we didn't have anything for ourselves. And the business that you have was a way that you found yourself again. You found that you had a purpose. You found that you could do something that you'd be excited about. You found a community within the company that you decided to be a distributor for. You found something that set your soul on fire. And let me tell you this, there are millions of people around the world that need that same opportunity. But if you are afraid of attention and you are hiding under a rock, there are millions of people that are going to continue to suffer, that are going to continue to struggle because you didn't do your part. I personally have a mission, and it says that I push entrepreneurs to reach their full potential. When I understand that that's my mission, I have no choice but to show up every single day like a rock star. I got to get on stage and I got to shine and I got to let my voice be heard, not because Josh Coates needs more followers, but because I have a message that is going to change someone's life. And if I shy away from that, someone's life this very day is going to go without being inspired. I understand every single day that I get behind this phone or my computer or whatever it is that I'm doing, I understand that there are literally people's lives depending on it. And I need you to take on that same responsibility. You see, we have used humility as an excuse not to show up and make a difference. And that's why I want you to embrace. I want you to go over and above and beyond. I want you to embrace. I want you to see yourself as a rock star. You may just be sitting at a coffee shop drinking a cup of coffee, but man, the world needs to see your face and they need to hear your voice because you may be the only positive thing they experience in their news feed today. Man, there's a lot of negative stuff out there, guys. And the world needs your voice. So I want you to imagine every single day when you're posting, I want you to imagine you're a freaking rock star. When you're reaching out to people, this is something that I want you to write down. I don't need them, they need me. Write that down. I don't need them, they need me. See, why is it that you're afraid to post on social media? Because you're afraid of what people are going to think about you. Why is it that you're afraid to reach out to people and offer them an opportunity to join your team or even just to try your products? Because you're afraid of what they think of you. But when you flip the roles and think, you know what, I don't need them. See, that's the problem, is you think that you need that sale so bad that you're so worried about, am I going to say the right thing? Am I going to use the right script? I don't know if I talk too much. None of that crap matters, guys. None of that matters. It doesn't matter if your script is too long or too short. What matters is when you have the mindset of a rock star, you realize people need to hear from me today. I'm going to reach out to 20 people today, and it's not going to bug them because they need to hear from me. I don't need them. They need me because I got an opportunity that can change their life. And when you flip the roles like that, guess what? Rejection doesn't even matter. I will make you a promise right now. I will promise you you're going to face some rejection in these 4 weeks because I'm going to make you talk to a lot of people, and 90% of them are going to say no or just completely ignore you or get abducted by aliens and we'll never talk to them again. I don't know how it happens, but for whatever reason, 20% of the people we talk to get abducted by aliens and their Facebook and Instagram disappear, or I don't know, maybe they just blocked us. Maybe that's what happened. But for whatever reason, you are going to see a lot of rejection. But when you understand, I don't need them, See, that's the problem. If you think you need them, rejection hurts. If I don't need you, not a big deal. But you do need me because I've got value to give you today. So I'm going to walk you through the business strategies next. I'm going to walk you through the things that you need to be doing every single day. And I need you to remember with everything you do to do it as a rock star. Don't worry about what people are thinking about you. They're too busy worrying about what you think about them. We live in a world full of insecure people. They ain't even thinking about you. They're too worried about what you think about them. People are drawn to confidence. People are drawn to purpose. People are drawn to life and energy. When something gets set on fire, everyone crowds around just to watch it burn. People love to watch people burn. And that's what I'm going to challenge you to do. I need you, though, to show up with confidence. I need you to show up with purpose. I need you to show up ready to light the world on fire, because that's what we are about to do. My name is Josh. I'm your push coach. I will see you in the next module.